It's the price of pushing a body to its limits. Every athlete knows the risks. Those who suffer the consequences find the race of their lives is the one back to the starting line. Whole branches of medicine have been opened to reduce recovery times, and it's led to similar revolutions in veterinary science. One need only consider the hundreds of thousands of dollars a bowed tendon has cost Australian Horse of the Year Better Loosen Up to realise the incentives involved. This hospital near Randwick Racecourse shows just how big an investment science has become. Officially opening tomorrow, it's about to become the first centre applying nuclear medicine to the treatment of horses outside of the US or Europe. But this patient's problem is a little more common, a fractured bone in his knee, and like any two-legged runner, he's about to undergo surgery.
Starting to sag back here.
The transportation is heavy, but so is the horse. Yet it's precise an operation as any major hospital could provide. And if you're feeling squeamish, the most surprising part is the absence of any blood.
The sort of people that are associated at this point of time in a practice like this are all highly skilled and highly trained, and it's a necessity when things go wrong, because a lot of these animals are insured for very large sums of money.
From one side of the knee, a camera is inserted. Fluid is also pumped into the knee to expand the joint and clean out the debris. The rest seems more like a video game than an operation.
All this reddened area is where the cartilage has been removed and is damaged. And there you can see the chip. It's magnified about 25-30 times. Now we're just making certain that we're in the right area, you can see. And then there's this other fracture probably here. You see how I'm flicking this? See this fracture here? It's just a bit thick enough for me to bring out. Just give me a blade. And I'm just going to clean this up. See this cartilage, how loose it is? I think it went very well.
Will he get back on the track again?
I think if they give him long enough, he has a chance, yes. I would think a better than average chance now of getting back.
As you can see, this hospital is state-of-the-art. Yet it's not that long ago its founder, Percy Sykes, remembers procedures were a little more agricultural. Operations were performed in the open.
We used to have to find some green grass somewhere where we could put the horse down and then hope that he went down and came up without hurting himself, and that the rain didn't come down or a dust storm didn't arise. It was very rough.
Today, machines like the ultrasound, which so often monitor unborn children, are used to measure the damage to tendons, this horse having been injured by a competitor's hoof.
This horse actually has an injury to the superficial flexor tendon. The stark area here indicates there's fluid within the tendon sheath.
I can remember the first time trying to suggest an X-ray to Tommy Smith to X-ray a hock, and he said, well, why X-ray it? You can see it's gone in the hock, you can see the swelling there. Now you've got to know exactly what has gone wrong.
But the latest development is the nuclear medical facility, which will come into operation shortly. Called scintigraphy, it involves injecting the horse with radioactive isotopes, which when viewed by a gamma camera can trace either individual organs or the horse's entire skeletal construction, far beyond the capability of X-rays.
I know of one major general practice in England who are using it very successfully. I know of several universities in the United States who are using it successfully. It's in its infancy, but with great prospects.
Areas on the screen called hotspots can not only pinpoint where damage has occurred, but where it's likely to.
It's false economy to have a horse break down and then find out what was wrong with it and why it will no longer race. We feel it will be far better to find out what the problem may develop and try and stop it before it occurs.
For Sykes, a pioneer in the thoroughbred industry, it's another example of just how far we've come.
I'm certain we get them back quicker, and certainly you do get a greater percentage back into racing up to their optimum performance.
And for every week a horse like Better Loosen Up recovers in a paddock, the pressure on the industry to reduce times further increases.
People in the industry are a lot more demanding than they were before, and therefore I think veterinary science has got to move to meet that challenge. That's really what it's all about.
But before it begins to sound like an assembly plant, perhaps science's biggest gain has been learning its own limitations.
We've learned a great deal in this period of time, that we now no longer attempt surgery on those horses which have a bad prognosis.
Our patient today, though, doesn't have to worry about that. And maybe the next time a punter curses a losing betting ticket, he'll have a little more understanding of what it takes to keep a horse running.
We used to all go because we really loved the horse. I have a funny feeling now that quite a lot of people go because of the financial side of the ticket rather than the horse itself.
Well, there's no question about that, but a very interesting story there by John Brady, a very noble, brave and beautiful beast, the horse. After the break, we talk to Simon Doyle, who shortly will go to Tokyo for the World Athletic Championships.